The Christmas lights shimmered softly across the studio as applause filled the room. Chelsea and Jake stood side by side, smiling for the cameras, the nation's favorite couple. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. Massive thanks to our fearless hosts, the announcer beamed. Chelsea and Jake. They waved, charming as ever. Perfect. Effortless. Untouchable. But the moment the cameras cut, the energy shifted. We really need a break, Chelsea sighed, rubbing her temples. Jake grinned, still buzzing. Break. We are on fire right now. Why stop? Because we are exhausted, Jake. I just want a quiet Christmas. No cameras. No pressure. He chuckled. We'll have time for that later. That word again. Later. Before she could respond, their producer Don approached, fast-talking. Urgent. Already selling the next big idea. A Christmas special. Live. 10 days from now. Chelsea blinked. You're joking. Jake, however, lit up instantly. This is huge. It's impossible, she replied. We had plans. Don leaned in. We'll donate to your charity. Big time. Chelsea hesitated. Her charity meant everything to her. Jake saw it. Pressed gently. We can still make it work. And just like that, she said yes. A few days later, snow crunched underfoot as they arrived in a quiet, New Hampshire town, the opposite of the beach holiday she'd imagined. The cabin they were renovating belonged to Cooper, a grounded, thoughtful man with a deep attachment to the place, and his girlfriend Janice, a polished city designer who clearly didn't share that same emotional connection. They want different futures, Bethany, the producer, explained. He wants to stay. She wants to sell. Chelsea nodded. So it's not just the house. No, Bethany said. It's everything. From the moment Chelsea stepped inside the cabin, she felt something different. Warmth. History. Heart. And then she met Cooper. He wasn't flashy. Wasn't trying to impress. But there was a calm honesty about him that caught her off guard. Welcome, he said simply. They spoke about the house. The memories. His grandfather. And for the first time in a long while, Chelsea felt present. Meanwhile, things with Jake were slipping further away. He was constantly on calls. Business deals. Branding ideas. Future plans. Always future. Never now. One morning, he casually announced, I've got to head back to the city. Big opportunity. Chelsea stared at him. You're leaving? In the middle of filming? It's for us, he insisted. But it didn't feel like that. It felt like being left behind. With Jake gone, Chelsea carried the show herself. Filming. Designing. Supporting Cooper through his relationship struggles. And slowly, their connection deepened. Not romantic, not at first. Just honest. Easy. Real. They laughed while working. Talked over coffee. Shared quiet moments that didn't need cameras. You always take care of everyone else, Cooper said one evening. But who takes care of you? Chelsea didn't have an answer. Back in New York, Jake was chasing success. Deals. Meetings. Expansion. But something wasn't sitting right. He watched footage of Chelsea and Cooper, their natural chemistry, their ease, and for the first time, he saw what had been missing. Not just in the show, but in them. As Christmas Eve approached, pressure mounted. The network wanted drama. Ratings. A perfect ending. A proposal. A happy couple. A fairy tale finish. But reality had other plans. During the live show, the cabin reveal was stunning. The audience loved it. The charity received its donation. Everything was going perfectly. Until it wasn't. When asked about their future, Janice took a breath and said, I'm not moving here. Silence. I love you, she told Cooper gently, but not enough to live your life. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't cruel. It was honest. And somehow, that made it heavier. Cooper nodded slowly. I think we both knew. Just like that. They let each other go. Backstage, panic erupted. This isn't the ending we needed. Don snapped. But Chelsea stood still, watching it all unfold. And something clicked. Truth mattered more than perfection. Then came Jake's moment. Live. On air. He dropped to one knee. Chelsea, will you marry me? The audience gasped. Chelsea froze. For a second, it felt like everything was collapsing into one impossible choice. Then she shook her head. I can't. The room fell silent. This is real life, she said softly. Not a storyline. Her voice trembled, but she didn't stop. We've been pretending for too long. We are not in love anymore. Jake stood slowly, eyes glistening. And instead of anger, there was acceptance. I know, he admitted. The show ended not with a fairy tale, but with truth. Messy, imperfect, human truth. Later, outside in the cold night air, Chelsea sat alone. I've ruined everything, she whispered. Cooper shook his head. No, you did the right thing. But what if it costs everything? Then it was worth it. She looked at him, really looked. And for the first time, she wasn't thinking about the show, the audience, or expectations. Just how she felt. Moments later, Don approached, surprisingly calm. Highest ratings we've ever had, he said. Chelsea blinked. What? Turns out, people prefer honesty. Jake joined her soon after. I'm sorry, he said quietly. She smiled faintly. Me too. They weren't broken. Just different now. And that was okay. As the night settled, Chelsea stood beside Cooper in front of the glowing cabin. So, he asked gently, is this where your heart is? She smiled. Maybe. He stepped closer. Well, mine goes wherever yours does. For once, there were no cameras, no scripts, no expectations, just a quiet beginning. Before we continue with the story, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment below telling us where you're watching from. Your support really helps the channel grow.